Do you have bricked Abyssals modules like this one lying around in Cheetah or somewhere else, and you do not know what to do with them? Then this video is the right solution for you. In the latest expansion, CCP allowed the reprocessing of Abyssal modules that don't have the stats that you want or that you cannot sell. For example, this armor plate that I muted, it's completely red bricked. It's not something I want to fit on my ship. Before you could just put them in a container and leave them there forever, but now you can do something with them. You can reprocess them. Or better to say, you always could reprocess them, but apart from the normal minerals that you get, you also get some new materials as you see here. Armor mutaplasmid residue and small mutaplasmid residue. We're gonna reprocess some of these modules to get some of these. This is from an armor plate to get armor mutaplasmid residues. Then let's reprocess some ballistic control systems. They give weapon upgrade residues together with the small mutaplasmid residues. And some bricked batteries as well. These again give small mutaplasmid residues and engineering residues. And this is what we got from reprocessing that stuff together with the minerals that I'm going to sell now, because we don't need those any further. We just need these things here from now. When you do Abyssals, you might also have noticed that sometimes a new blueprint drops. And these are not blueprint for modules like disintegrators. These are blueprints for a new form of mutaplasmids. The glorified decayed or glorified gravid or glorified unstable mutaplasmid. Let's open it in the industrial window. This is the new mutaplasmid that you can manufacture using the basic mutaplasmid as well as the residues that you get from reprocessing the Abyssal modules. You can basically upgrade a normal mutaplasmid into the glorified variant by using those materials that you see here. If you don't have the modules to reprocess, you can just buy them from the market. These residues aren't too expensive, like 120 of them is just around 4 million. The small ones are 2.3 million. So it's not too expensive because there were so many bricked Abyssal modules lying around that everyone just reprocessed it, and the market got literally flooded with tons of those residuals, making them actually very cheap and accessible. So that the main cost is actually just the main mutaplasmid. In case of the decay, it's actually very cheap, but if you want a glorified unstable, then you have to use the normal unstable one, which depending on the type of mutaplasmid can be very expensive. Let's show some examples. For example, the unstable large capacitor battery mutaplasmid is around 600 million right now. And this you can use to make the glorified unstable large cap battery mutaplasmid, which currently sells for around 2 to 3 billion. There weren't many yet on the market. There's also a glorified gravid, which is around 400 million. and glorified decayed, which is not available right now, but sold for around 20 to 50 million or something. But those glorified mutaplasmids are actually stronger than the base mutaplasmids. Let's just randomly pick some glorified and normal. We're gonna look at the micro warp drive mutaplasmid, the unstable 500 ml micro warp drive mutaplasmid. This can mutate a module that you see here, any of those, and change the stats according to this. For example, it can either increase or decrease activation cost by plus minus 40%. Then it can also reduce CPU and power grid need, where actually the increase, which you don't want, is actually bigger than the decrease. And the primary attributes, which is the speed bonus and signature radius modifier that you see here. For the normal unstable, it's 40, 20, 10, 30, 20. Let's compare it to the glorified unstable mutaplasmid. Here it is 45, 25, 15, 35, 25. So basically the normal unstable mutaplasmid, and then it adds plus 5% maximum to all of the stats that you see. But it also adds 5% to the negative side, meaning that with this glorified you can also brick a module even more. And in case for the micro warp drive, the difference between 10 and 15% speed bonus is actually quite significant. This could actually be something interesting on certain ships, like if you use this and mutate some officer or deadspace micro warp drives, then you could make really strong modules with that. You can also look at some other mutaplasmids, for example the stasis webifier. As you see here, it's 10, 20, 10, 20. The glorified gives 15, 25, 15, 25. And in case of the stasis webifiers, which can increase the speed penalty that the web gives or the strength, this can make it very interesting when fit on Serpentis ships, because there you can get webs that are stronger than 100%, like if you fit the maximum mutated Federation Navy web on a Daredevil or something. This could basically just stop any movement from that ship. This could actually make them very interesting. And we can also look at some weapon upgrades. For example, the glorified unstable heatsink, which is 25% less CPU, 3% more rate of fire bonus, and 2.5% more damage bonus, which is around 5% more CPU and 0.5% to the rate of fire and damage bonus. This can actually be very interesting when you use them with faction, because then you can make those faction modules actually stronger than officer, or if you use them with officer, then you can make extremely powerful modules. And then you can actually get some incredible damage per second if you fit some of those mutated modules on something like an AT ship or so. So it's actually very powerful. But there are not only glorified unstable mutaplasmids, there are also glorified gravid and glorified decayed mutaplasmids. And these are actually just between the normal gravid and the normal unstable, as you see here. The glorified gravid shield extender gives 17.5 CPU, 25% shield HP, 25% signature radius, and 17.5 power grid. Comparing it to the normal shield extender, you see that it's actually slightly worse than the unstable, but slightly better than the, oh, that's a glorified, slightly better than the normal Gravit. This places the glorified Gravit Mutaplasmid actually between the normal Gravit and the normal unstable. And this actually means that the glorified decayed and glorified Gravit Mutaplasmids probably won't be used that much, because instead of the glorified decayed, you can just take the normal Gravit shield extender, which is even cheaper than the glorified decayed right now. And in case of the glorified Gravit, you can also just take the normal unstable, because even that is cheaper. Right now the glorified Gravit medium shield extender is around 450 million, and the normal unstable shield extender, which is better than the glorified Gravit, is 30 mil, which is around 15 times cheaper and gives better stats. So this means that the only really useful of those new mutaplasmids are the glorified unstable ones, because they have the chance to mutate the modules into much stronger possibles than the normal unstable. While the Gravit and Decayed probably won't be used all too much or be available too much. Yeah, because as I just showed, the next better one is cheaper and stronger than the glorified Decayed. And this is actually very interesting that they did those mutaplasmids that were placed between the weaker ones, because right now they won't be used all too much probably, as long as the normal Gravits and unstable are cheaper as them. But who knows, maybe in the future when the market sets a little bit, when there will be more of those available, then they might be used a little bit more, and then the price should actually also be somewhere between the normal Decayed and normal Gravit or something. Maybe this could change in the future actually. And also on the stats, for that we're gonna go back to the micro warp drive we had. For example, the Gravit 5MN gives plus 7% speed. The unstable 5MN gives plus 10%. The glorified unstable gives plus 15%. This means that the gap between the normal unstable and the glorified unstable is actually bigger than between the Gravit and the unstable 5MN micro warp drive mutaplasmid. This means that some of those glorified unstable ones will actually be very popular, because those 5% could make a huge difference in some fits. For example, an interceptor or something that goes like 5k a second gets like another 250 meters per second with those additional 5%. While other mutaplasmids like the shield booster, let's extender, let's take the booster. Come on, oh, that's the shield booster. And that much stronger compared to the normal ones. There are even sets where they aren't added plus 5%. Like in this case where the shield boost is only plus 2.5% more activation time compared to the normal unstable shield booster. And what will actually these glorified mutaplasmids be useful for? I think the decayed and gravid probably not all that much, because I can at this time make better one using the normal gravids or unstable for a lower price than with the glorified. But the glorified unstable ones, they can actually be very powerful. If you get lucky and get a nearly maximum perfect roll, like in this case where I had a glorified decayed armor plate with a 200mm armor plate, it got almost perfect armor HP bonus with a slight power grid nerf. So this could actually be something useful to fit on certain ships. So, and to sum it all up, those glorified mutaplasmids are stronger than the basic ones, but only the glorified unstable ones are really stronger than all other currently existing mutaplasmids. And right now there are no glorified variants for the smart bomb mutaplasmids, but maybe they come in the future, who knows. Actually, those glorified mutaplasmids were a nice addition to Abyssal deadspace, especially if you should happen to get a glorified unstable one. Then you can actually make a huge profit if you manufacture it using a normal unstable one plus some residuals that you get from reprocessing Abyssal modules, because as we have seen, they aren't very expensive. They are very cheap, so this should only be like a few million ISK for manufacturing a mutaplasmid. And then you can actually make a huge profit in the Abyss. And those glorified mutaplasmids even made the price of some other mutaplasmids, the normal ones, increase a little. For example, the unstable large shield extender got up quite a lot. Like in summer it was around 110 million, and now it is selling for over 200 million. And an even more extreme case is the capacitor battery, which was selling for around 250 to 300 million, and now is at over 600 million. So this even made the normal mutaplasmids more lucrative. Or the large energy neutralizer is another example where the price nearly doubled in the past few months, from around 50 million to over 120 million. This actually makes the Abyss overall more lucrative, increases the ISK that you can make without inflation, because the revenue that you get from selling mutaplasmids is just supply and demand, and no ISK that gets directly injected into the economy. So it's actually a way to increase the profitability of the Abyss without hurting the economy too much. And that was the video about the glorified mutaplasmids. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you think about those glorified mutaplasmids. Are they good? Are they bad? And why or why not? If you like, then please subscribe to the channel and use the code Gustav whenever you buy stuff on Marquee Dragon or the Eve store, because that helps the channel, and on Marquee Dragon you get a 3% discount. In the description you also find the links to my Discord and the forum posts about bringing this content here back, the Proving Grounds and the old arena. I think those glorified mutaplasmids would have been very interesting for fits designed for the old Abyssal Arena. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.